Hi everyone, hi, I'm jumping on today. I am making the beautiful slow cooked beef brisket chili con carne. So if you haven't tried slow cooking in your Thermomix, oh my goodness, so this is a TM6 recipe and I just wanted to showcase for you the slow cook functionality. So thanks for joining me and I hope you enjoy this. So I will be showing you the slow cooking function and I will be following, the recipe is called beef brisket chili con carne. Okay. So I've got my beautiful beef brisket here, like we go. It is absolutely gorgeous. And what I'm going to be doing first is and one of the things I always recommend is just actually read your recipe before you start, because then you can actually see whether you can change things up and whether you can speed things up a little bit whilst you're actually cooking. So I'm just going to show you what I do. So when you've got your recipe up, so I brought my recipe up, I've saved it down to the machine, and there's a little down arrow there as well. So hi everybody, thanks for watching. Say hi if you're there, love to see you. So I'm just going to quickly have a little look through. In the first steps, okay, it asks you to pop the meat into a bowl, pop all your spices into it, and then after you've done all that, then you're going to cook your onion. And I thought, well, no, that doesn't make sense. So I'm actually going to jump forward in the recipe, cook my onion, and whilst it's doing that, I'm actually going to then get my meat prepared and put all my spices in, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So hi, yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, so what you can do with your recipe, you can actually scroll through and you can have a look down. Okay, and it goes through place your bowl. We don't want to do that. But what we want to do is jump straight to the recipe. So you can actually tap on the actual part in your recipe and it'll jump you straight to it. You can do that on the TM5 and the TM6 as well. It's okay. So, all right, so what we want to do, oh, and my bowl smells amazing. I've just been grounding some cumin, so it's a little bit dirty in there. It smells so beautiful. So I don't know if you've ever ground your spices, but I just had ground some cumin seed. I didn't have ground cumin, so I've just ground my cumin in my Thermomix, and it smells beautiful. Okay, I wish we had smell-o-vision. All right, so the first step is 20 grams of fresh coriander. Now, it actually asks for the roots, okay? So let me just set this aside for 2 seconds and I'll bring this over. So when you're popping your coriander in, this is actually, normally we use the leaves, and I know jury's out as to whether people like coriander or not. So if you really don't like coriander, please don't feel you need to put it in. But I do like coriander. All right, so what I'm going to do is I've literally just given the coriander a wash, and just a bit of a trim like that. You can use a spoon to actually scrape off all the just the little ends of your coriander as well. Rightio, so we want 20 grams. I'm literally going to just chop off. See how much I got there. There we go. Awesome. So you don't need very much. Oh, actually, I might put in a little bit more because I do like coriander. And I am going to put in a little bit more meat than they recommend. Now, put your leaves aside because we will need that a bit later. Okay, so say next. I'm going to pop the lid on. It's literally just going to chop these up, lips them up. So next, it's going to go 3 seconds, speed 7, and I'll grab a bowl. It's so awesome. So I've been a consultant for 4 years and I still get the joy out of the machine doing the chopping for me. See, look at that. Isn't that phenomenal? 3 seconds. Okay, so I will say, just transfer that. You don't need to be terribly pedantic about making sure that everything is cleaned out of the bowl. But 3 seconds, that has chopped that up. That's not even the fastest speed. That's only on speed 7. There we go. So, yeah, so don't be too fussy about cleaning your bowl out. And I'll just show you. So that's what it's done. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so next. All right. So now I'm going to put my onions in and get that going, and then I'll come back and do the spices, and I'll show you a little tip. So 20 grams of oil. Again, if you've seen me in action, I'm not particularly accurate. 20 grams, 30 grams, it's about the same. Okay, all right, now we're putting in some onions. There are recipes, I know I'm being flippant, but there are recipes where you really do need to be accurate. So if you prefer to be accurate, absolutely be accurate. All right. So literally just going to chop these up into wedges, just those little wedges. I love red onion actually. Red onion, I find red onion much sweeter, and I don't get onion eye as badly from the red onion. Not sure about you guys. Okay, there we go. So popping this in, that aside. There we go. So I've literally just cut them up into little quarters. I'm actually, now it does say ask for a fresh jalapeno chili. I'm just using a normal chili for this recipe. I do have kiddies that won't particularly love the super spice, so I'm going to just be on the side of caution and actually cut out the seed as well. There we go. So just like that. Now, very important step, and one I will not miss, is wash your hands. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on. Now it does say to just, oh, I'll grab my, just one moment. Sorry. I'm grabbing my splash guard. Okay, so this is the splash guard. So this guy sits on top like that, okay? Just sits on loosely. It's not, doesn't mean to lock down. And this is actually going to start our high heat functionality, okay? It will go for 10 minutes. I'm actually not going to need it to go for so long. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a hurry, about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to turn that on just in time for me to wash my hands, but also to prep the meat. Okay, so off it goes. As soon as I do that, you can see it starting to count down. Okay, awesome. So that's the high heat functionality, and soon you will see that steam coming out of there. So let me just move this over. And I'm just washing my hands. Not sure about you guys, how many times I have got onion eye. How many times I've received onion eye from not washing my hands after making chili. Hello, hi everybody, thanks for watching. Okay, so what we want to do, now I'm going to start to prep our meat. Ooh, can you hear it starting to sizzle? Just going to bring it over a little bit. It's very exciting. Okay, so what I'm going to do with your meat is just going to cut the meat up into about 4 centimetre cubes. Oh, do not have a very sharp knife. Let me just swap my knife out. Much better. There we go. So cut your beef brisket. I got mine from the butchers, and you can actually ask them to trim it for you as well. And if they're lovely butchers, they'll do that for you. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to cut this up. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. And then pop that into a bowl in a moment, and then I'm going to just realised I'm cutting against that. Then we're going to add our spices, and I'm going to show you. So what we're going to need for this recipe, it actually includes, so we've got oregano, and we've got smoked paprika, we've got cumin, ground cumin as well, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, which is why I didn't go terribly crazy with the chili either, because we're actually adding in the cayenne pepper as well. Oh, this is beautiful meat. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure if you can see the quality of this meat. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now my meat is done up. I'm going to show you a little trick. It's not really a trick, but it's just a time saver. So I'm going to pop it into the bowl. Here we are. Okay, just take a moment. Can you hear that? Can you see it starting to steam? Let me just move this over again. Hopefully you can hear that. Can you see that? That's awesome. So it's frying the onions for us, which is I love. Okay, I'll bring it back again and I'll show you. So this little step, okay, because I jumped over the initial step, what I'm going to do, just bring this back here, whilst the recipe's going, you can actually, up near the little next button on the TM6, and actually the same on the TM5, bring up a recipe detail. So if you click on recipe detail, oops, it brings back our ingredients, okay? So what we want to do is it says, we're going to jump back and we're going to go, okay, well, what do we need to do? We need to add our oregano, our paprika, the cumin, the ground coriander, the cayenne pepper, salt and pepper. Awesome. So what you do now on the side is go, okay, I need 2 teaspoons of oregano. Let's have a look. All right, so it doesn't slow you down, okay? So whilst this is, you're not waiting around. You're not waiting for that to finish whilst you're actually doing your, oh, put that in. There's my oregano. There we go. So 2 teaspoons of our oregano, and I'll show you that in a second, what we end up with. I do have a little bit more, so I've got a kilo, just over a kilo actually, of the, now I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. So look at that, isn't that beautiful? It's such a beautiful colour. Okay, and then we want 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Okay, so I grab my cumin. Where is it? I wish I had smell-o-vision. And you could smell all these beautiful spices going in. Okay, the next one is ground coriander. And we want, let me have a picture of that. We just need a teaspoon. Teaspoon of our ground coriander. Okay. Just a little bit of cayenne pepper. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in. About half a teaspoon. Don't get too carried away with the cayenne pepper. Well, not in our household. Okay. And then salt and pepper. Awesome. And then you just got to get your hands dirty. Alright. But this is such an easy, crowd-pleasing recipe. If you've never used the TM6 for slow cooking, please give it a go. Or if you are thinking about a TM6, the slow cooking functionality, my husband was, he actually said, you know what? I said, I would actually buy a TM6 purely for the slow cook functionality. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a big kudos. Okay. This is coming from a man who was quite skeptical when I first got my first Thermomix. So he is a complete convert now, but he does love the TM6 with its slow cooking. Okay, gorgeous. So now I'm literally just rolling that round in all those beautiful spices. Done. Let me just show you. So it's all beautifully coated like that. Gorgeous. I'm just going to wash my hands. 1 second. Okay, so whilst I've been doing that, this has been cooking. So now I'm just down to just on 7 minutes. So you know what? That's heaps of time. And all you need to do, you're in charge at any stage, and you can just stop, and it's done. Okay. So when I say next, I'm going to just show you before I show you next. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Let me just move it forward again. So just going to take off the splash guard, and when you're taking your lid off, always pull it down like that so the steam escapes at the back, okay? All right, so this is what it looks like in there. So beautiful, and I'm just not sure if you can see any of the caramelization. Let me just, oh, yum. Let me just see if it's got the, there's some, I'm not sure if you can see in there, but there's some beautiful caramelization in the bottom of the bowl. So just scrape that around. Make sure that flavour goes into your dish as well. Yum. Okay. All right, so then we put our lid back on, pop your measuring cup back on, and it's going to give it a quick chop. Just on speed 5, so it doesn't blitz it, just chops it nicely. That's it. Okay. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Look at this, 3 seconds. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? So that's 3 seconds done. Now I'm just going to quickly cut up. The next step is to quickly cut up some capsicum. Again, if you've got ingredients that you wish to sub out or pop in, you absolutely can. You're in charge, so you can put in whatever you wish. There we go. All right. So I'm just going to cut these up. Again, you don't have to be terribly pedantic with the cutting up, which I love. And for those, if you happen to have people in your household that don't particularly love capsicum, which I do, it means that they can avoid it later. Okay, now this is really funny. Every time this asks for this, I get amazed that it asks for it. But what it asks is for 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder. And you can actually really taste the flavour in the dish. It's beautiful. So 2 teaspoons of the cocoa powder. A tablespoon of red wine vinegar. Okay. And we're nearly done. Nearly done. There we go. Done. Pop in some canned tomatoes or fresh tomatoes. If you have fresh tomatoes, you can pop those in. I've just got some beautiful tomatoes to pop in. Does anyone else get curious when you add in a 400 grams of tomatoes and it pops up at $3.90 and you just go, hang on. I've been ripped off. Okay, I'll say next. Okay, oh, and this one, look at this. I'm actually going to put in a teaspoon of instant coffee. What? It's like crazy. All right, so a teaspoon of instant coffee, and the flavors are amazing. Alrighty, now next step is to add in our meat, which we had prepared. So there was no waiting around. Absolutely no waiting around. Okay, pop that in. Beautiful. In it goes. Now, because I don't have a blade cover in, you can do this without a blade cover. Because the meat is in larger chunks, like it might break down slightly, especially with the slow cooking, but because it's in the larger chunks, you don't need your blade cover for this recipe. Okay, there we go. Our moment of truth. Let me just move this around for you. Okay, so now it's going to go for 6.5 hours at 90 degrees, and all I do is turn on the slow cook function. Okay, this machine will go up to 8 hours, so you can do it for as long as you wish. If you want to cook it for 8 hours, go for it. If you don't have 6.5 hours and you're racing and you come home and you go, oh, I've only got 4 hours, do that. It's honestly, it is still delicious at the 4 hours. It is just absolutely incredible once it does the 6.5. To activate it, all I do is literally turn the selector and off it goes. And what it will do, it goes on blade reverse, so it doesn't chop the meat inside, and it does brings it up slowly to 90 degrees, and it goes one way, and then it stops, and it will sit, and then it will go again, and it stops, and it sits. Very slow spoon stirring action. So that is your slow cooker. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Right at the end, I will be adding in my coriander, which we chopped up earlier. And you can also add it, and I will be adding in the kidney beans right at the end as well, and a little bit of sour cream once it's done. And you can serve that up with nachos, or you can do. We're actually going to be serving up with rice tonight, but you can serve it up with nachos, and it is absolutely. Or you can serve it just with some salad. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. If you've got any questions, please let me know. Or if you'd like to see a little bit more about it, please shoot me a message. I'm really happy to do that for you as well. And I've got my shop now button if you're interested in purchasing as well. So thank you, guys, and I will see you very soon. Let me know if you've got any questions. See ya. Bye.